In the quiet town of Fairbridge, Christmas wasn't just a holiday, it was a ritual. Snow on the roofs, hymn choirs in the streets, families wrapping gifts by soft lantern light. But beneath the glow of holiday cheer lurked a fear that few dared to whisper, a killer who only struck during Christmas week. And for 8 years, no one had ever been caught. No one. Until a young janitor named Elias Thorn stepped into a storm much bigger than he knew. Elias had always been invisible to the world. He was just a cleaner at the Fairbridge Town Hall. To Sheriff Dalton Reeves, the most praised lawman in Fairbridge's history, Elias was a nuisance. Someone who asked too many questions for someone with no badge, no rank, no right. But Elias had something the sheriff didn't: an extraordinary memory, a quiet mind that noticed everything, a heart that refused to ignore injustice, and a past that taught him what it felt like to be powerless. It began 3 days before Christmas. Town Hall buzzed with preparations for the annual parade. The sheriff issued his yearly warning about staying vigilant, promising that this time, the Christmas killer would be stopped. Cameras flashed, reporters clapped, and Dalton Reeves delivered his speech with the practiced confidence of a man who loved the spotlight more than the truth. But Elias, leaning against a mop handle in the hallway, noticed something else. The sheriff's hands trembled behind the podium, and not the tremble of fear, but the tremble of anticipation. That same evening, Elias found what everyone else ignored: a silver button on the floor beside the mayor's office. Not just any button, an engraved one, the kind worn only by the sheriff's ceremonial jacket. Elias pocketed it silently. Minutes later, screams erupted outside. Another victim had been found. Same pattern, same week, same horror. The sheriff arrived at the scene theatrically late, thrusting himself into cameras, vowing justice, while Elias stood behind the crowd, his heart sinking as he watched the man everyone praised walk confidently through flashing lights. The sheriff was too calm. To rehearsed, Elias knew monsters. He'd grown up with one, and he recognized one now. The next night, Elias arrived early for his shift. Unable to sleep, he passed by the sheriff's office and froze. The door was slightly ajar. Inside, Dalton Reeves sat alone, polishing a knife with a slow, satisfied rhythm. It wasn't a kitchen knife. It was the knife described in every Christmas killer report. The same rare make, the same carved handle. Elias swallowed hard. If he confronted him, the sheriff would destroy him. If he stayed silent, more would die. And no one would ever believe the janitor over the beloved sheriff of Fairbridge. But fate made the choice for him. A small leather-bound notebook slipped from the sheriff's desk. It fell open to sketches of each crime scene, marked with chilling precision. And on the last page, a new name had been added. Now Elias wasn't just a witness. He was the next target. 2 days before Christmas, the killer struck again. But this time, the victim survived, and not by luck by Elias. He had followed the sheriff's patrol route, something he'd memorized from years of cleaning shift rotations. When he heard a muffled scream in the alley, he ran toward it. The sheriff escaped into the shadows. The woman lived, but the sheriff would know who interrupted him. That night, the sheriff called a town emergency meeting, accusing Elias publicly of interfering with police work. Dalton's voice boomed through the hall, eyes blazing with fake righteousness. Elias stood small in the center, humiliated, trembling, the room staring at him like he was a criminal. No one defended him. No one dared. But the powerful always make one mistake: they underestimate the quiet ones. The next day, Christmas Eve morning, Elias went to the only person he trusted, old Chief Moran, the retired sheriff who had trained Dalton Reeves years ago. Moran had been dismissed as senile by the town, a relic with failing eyesight. But Elias knew the old man still saw truth clearer than most. Moran listened without blinking as Elias described everything: the knife, the notebook, the patrol route. When he finished, the old man whispered, "I knew something was wrong the year he framed that teenager. His ambition was too perfect." He handed Elias a dusty key. "This opens the evidence vault. If Dalton kept trophies, that's where they'll be. You get proof, I'll get you back up." It was the first time in Elias's life someone believed him. That night, snow fell softly as Elias entered the town hall alone. He descended into the cold, dim basement, heart pounding. The evidence vault creaked open, dust swirling in the beam of his flashlight. And there they were. Trophies, lockets, buttons, scraps of fabric, and the worst photographs. The sheriff grinning beside each. Original crime scene before officers had even arrived. Elias had enough proof to bury Dalton Reeves forever. But as he stepped backward, a voice emerged from the dark. "I knew you'd come here." Their sheriff stood at the bottom of the stairs. The same ceremonial jacket, the same calm, deadly smile. Snowflakes clung to his shoulders like glittering shards of ice. "You should have stayed invisible, Elias. You were good at that." Elias's breath caught. The sheriff stepped closer, knife gleaming. "But don't worry. Your death will make this year's Christmas the most unforgettable one yet." Elias raised the flashlight like a shield. "I'm not scared of you," he whispered. Dalton smirked. "You should be." Then a deafening crash echoed from upstairs. Heavy boots thundered down the stairwell. Voices multiple, urgent. Chief Moran burst into the basement with 2 retired officers. Guns drawn. Dalton's smile vanished. Elias stepped forward, voice steady for the first time in his life. "Sheriff Reeves, you're under arrest." Justice had finally shifted. But as the officers tackled the sheriff, as handcuffs clamped shut, as Elias exhaled the breath he'd held for years, Dalton whispered something with a calmness that froze the room. "You caught me, but you didn't stop me." Elias frowned. "What do you mean?" Dalton's grin curled. "You still don't know who I work with." The lights flickered. The basement door slammed shut upstairs, and from the shadows behind the evidence shelves, another figure stepped forward.